What's up, guys? Welcome back to another favorites video. This month I am going beyond beauty to talk about some fashion favorites and some entertainment favorites, podcasts, streaming shows, and more. Maybe not. I don't know. Let's go ahead and get started. So first, let's talk beauty, and I actually don't have a ton of products to mention this month. Not for lack of loving them, but none that I've used consistently because I've really been trying to make an effort to dig in the back of my drawers, get products that I once knew and loved well, bring them to the forefront, and kind of try and use something different, do a little different every day to kind of generate some makeup creativity. You know what I mean? I've been trying to make an effort to post a tutorial a day and have almost been successful over on Instagram. If you want to go check it out, like a tutorial for this, a quick one will be up there at the time that you see this, if not shortly after, and I'll put a link in the description. But because I've been using so many different things, I only have like a tiny handful of products that I've really come back to over and over again. So I'll first start with foundation. It was actually in last month's favorites video that I had talked about just starting to try the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Dewy Foundation. They sent this to me and I was wanting kind of a lighter switch from my Believe Beauty Skin Finish Foundation. This is a longtime favorite for me, and it has a really beautiful, kind of thicker, borderline lotiony sort of texture, but with the weather warming up, I kind of wanted to switch to something lighter, something that can kind of sheer out a little bit more if I wanted to, and that's the kind of texture that this has, and lo and behold, have been using it pretty steadily throughout the entire month of April. The two downsides I see with this is that it doesn't have a pump. It has, just like the original Photo Focus, has a little paddle here, and on more than one occasion, one you've actually seen in a recent video, it has dripped all over me. Like, it's not the cleanest or even the most sanitary of applicators. I'm sure you could get a little pump to put in there if you wanted to, but it stinks that that's the default. The other thing is the scent. It is pretty heavily fragranced, and more often than not, that will not be an issue for me, but especially because it's been warming up and allergy season is upon us, that is when I tend to find my skin becomes sensitized. I don't normally have sensitive skin, but allergens just make it more sensitive to things like artificial fragrances or just kind of known cosmetic irritating ingredients. My skin isn't typically sensitive to those, but in allergy season, it can just get a little bit of tingly, feel a teensy bit irritated, and that's when I know I need to switch to something else. So I have experienced that a little bit with this, and on those days, I will just go back to my Believe Beauty, or I've been on the entire opposite end of the spectrum. I recently ordered the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Foundation. But yeah, just a heads up that while I do really like this, it does have that fragrance, which is kind of a bummer if fragrance isn't for you. Now, I feel like I have to mention this product in a favorites because I've used so much of it at this point, and I never thought this would be a favorite. It's the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser. I had been loving my NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer for months. I had primarily used it as an all-over face thing. Then I ran out of my Beauty Bakery Instabake 3-in-1 concealer for my under eyes, and I kind of just started using this NARS in that area. But I was finding that some days it would just be a little too dry and cakey. It was doing nothing flattering for my under eye area where I can get those fine lines, especially if I'm not hydrating under there enough. So I whipped this out, and even though fresh out of the tube, I still don't love how it applies. I take a tip that you guys gave to me, and you've seen a couple of other YouTubers do as well, where you apply it wherever you want to. I particularly love my under eye area, and then you set it. Do something else in the meantime. I like to do my brows, and by the time you come back to it, it's thickened up a little bit. Some of that moisture is evaporated, and it becomes a thicker texture that is more easily layerable. It's harder to sheer out, but it still maintains that hydrating sort of quality to it that I really love in my under eye area, and I think it shows in how much that I have used. So who'd have thunk? This is a favorite. Next, I have been able to put down cream blush, and I'm still loving the M Cosmetics serum blushes from last month. I have the shades Pink Nectar and Soft Amethyst, and what's so funny about these is I picked them up during a sale. They didn't have any of the shades that I actually wanted on the site. I kind of picked these up thinking like, I guess it'll let me try the formula, and I have been wearing them non-stop. I've actually kind of ditched my bronzer. Like, it's probably 50-50 that I'll wear a look with bronzer and blush, and that I'll just go with blush, like today. Not wearing any sort of bronzer or contour. I just apply these, stipple them over my cheeks and over my nose for like a fresh, healthy, kind of youthful sort of glow, I guess. And I've just been loving the look that that creates. And I do have some other cream products that I've been loving, like the Dominique Cosmetics. I recently bought these skin glosses, all 4 shades that I'm going to talk about in an upcoming cream products video. But these are beautiful as well. A little different from the serum blushes. These are obviously pressed, more of like a gel sort of texture, and obviously have shimmer. I mean, the serum blushes, it is totally a cream finish, whereas these rely heavily on either a gold or a champagne sort of intense shimmery shift to them. But they are another cream blush that I've really, well, cream product. I mean, I have a whole cream blush and bronzer video coming up where I'll dive more into them, but specifically this shade Sunset Glow, I've really been loving because built up, it can go on as a blush. I'm not wearing this today, by the way. I am actually wearing the serum blush in Soft Amethyst, but just for how I like to use this, it's to either layer it up for a blush, sheer it out for like a tinted highlight kind of all over, or, and I did this in a recent Instagram video, I applied another one of these that I have over a lipstick, and the shimmery shift in these just made it totally pop out. It was really, really pretty. So these are like the ultimate multitasker, which is in part why I really like them. And last up for beauty, guys, nail polish. Once again, the press-on queen has painted her nails not once, but 3 times this month. And the thing that has gotten me going on it are the Hollow Taco polishes and finishes, the unicorn skin. I got all of the finishes that Christine released in this collection, and I've been layering it over the cream colors. The Not Milky White, I think, is the shade of, it's just like an opaque white shade. That's what I had on before this, which is actually layered over 1 coat black, and on top I am wearing the Solar Unicorn skin. These are amazing, and I bought her base. Over that, I'm wearing that over the smoothing base, then I use her Ultra Glossy Taco, and it has changed my nail painting life, guys. I feel like if these had been around, these formulas had been around back when I first discovered press-ons, I would have had a harder time becoming such a press-on convert, because these actually last like a week. I have had, these I've only had on for a day, but the color I had on before that, I had on like for 5 or 6 days, and I've never ever experienced that, where they put like a standard non-gel, non-like cured polish before on my fingers. So she's the queen. She's the queen of polish for a reason. Now let's talk fashion faves. This first one is actually a fashion favorite slash PSA. So last summer I did a shorts try on, and the pair that I ended up wearing the pants off of, I am so sorry, but I did. I wore them like crazy, and even though they're not totally worn out, I wanted to have a backup on hand. They are these Topshop mom shorts. Yeah, they just say mom on the inside, and I wear a size 12, and I noticed on Nordstrom's site, which is where I bought these from originally, they not only had this style still in stock, but they also had them in black. So I picked up another like light wash pair as a backup, and then also got them in black for variety. I love them because they are high-waisted, and they were like looser in the thigh area and longer in the thigh area. However, they have either changed their sizing or their styling, or maybe even both, but I had a 12 in this original style. I ordered a 12 in the new style, and they are definitely tighter. Tighter in the thigh area, in the butt area. They don't stretch out nearly as much, which I don't mind, but had I known they were naturally as tight as they were, I would have ordered a size up. So I love them, would still recommend them, but do know that and they're a little shorter too. They are definitely a little shorter. Still kind of long, but don't quite give you as much coverage, I don't think, as these. So I love them, but I would also love to hear from you. Like, do you guys have any denim shorts that give you that, like, they ride ultra high, but they also like a true mom short? They are a little bit wider in the thigh area and come down a little bit longer. Not like all the way just above the knee kind of long, but you know, a little bit longer, so you don't have to worry about things riding up as you walk. And then the other thing that I've really been loving lately has been this that I'm wearing today. It's this beautiful tulle with an embroidery pattern in it, and I got it from a small business and designer down in Florida back when me and my family were there last couple months ago. My mom got me this and a couple of other things from her. Her name's Nicole Paloma, and I've talked about her here on the channel before because she makes such versatile pieces. Like, what I love about the things that she designs is that they're meant to be worn basically however you want them to. And not that you can't do that with any other fashion piece, but unlike your average crew neck t-shirt, like she designs her shirts to be worn like backwards, forwards, inside out. If they're longer, you can tie them every which way to create different silhouettes. Like they're just so thoughtful. And this is one of those things. And this is a fabric unlike any I've seen her do. And so it's just beautiful and it's delicate and it's kind of like the length of a duster. It's cut down the middle, but then she also has these panels. It's called a Reiki wrap. And so there are these panels that she cuts in the front that you can either tie them in the front, tie them in the back, tie them any which way you want. They just create, you can use them to create some really cool shapes and do different things with them depending on the outfit you wear, and you can wear them. And just in general, this fabric, this pattern, it's been one of those things that's just like made me happy to look at, you know? It's so beautiful, and because it goes with everything, I've been wearing it with everything. And who's gonna judge? No one can see what I wear on a daily basis, so if I wear it every day, Andrew will not say anything, I promise. He might not even notice. And last, let's move on to entertainment. So I have a couple podcast recommendations. I started listening to Supernatural by Ashley Flowers. That is the full podcast name. And in each episode, there's one new episode a week, and the host, Ashley Flowers, goes into different supernatural mysteries, like covering everything from an exorcism to disappearances at a lighthouse. Like there's a lighthouse that is known to have these very strange, whether it's disappearances or, you know, like strange things happening to them while they're manning this lighthouse. Silent Twins was the last episode, which is super interesting. Like it really kind of spans a broad variety of supernatural / unexplained topics, and her voice is really nice, and the way she tells these stories are really nice. I've really been liking that. And then on the other end of the spectrum it's called Well Hello, the podcast. And you'll get it once you see how it's spelled. It's hosted by John Mulaney and Nick Kroll, but they're not themselves. They're in character. And it's bizarre. I'm not gonna lie. It kind of took me a while to try and figure out what was happening, like what the point of the podcast was. And ultimately, I don't think there is. They're just like hilarious. And in these two characters exploring, I guess there is one continuous thread of exploring the death of Princess Di, but it's just they're very scattered. They're all over the place. And it's just, if you need to laugh, you want to laugh, and you appreciate their humor, you'll like it. It's super funny. And then while we're also in the vein of humor, the show that I recently started, and finished, it's not hard to do. There are like 3 episodes, but it is not stand-up, improv. It's called Middleditch and Schwartz, and it's Thomas Middleditch and Ben Schwartz from Silicon Valley and Parks and Rec, respectively. Super funny, but they're doing improv. When I first started, I was like, how is this gonna go? I love improv live, but wasn't quite sure if you needed to be in the moment to appreciate everything that's going on, but they do a great job at like bringing you into the audience, even as a remote viewer, and they are fast and witty and just really smart with their humor because there's a lot to keep track of. They have like very intricate storylines, and yeah, again, if you just need to laugh, I personally thought that was very funny. So those are my favorites. Those are my recommendations. As always, I would love to hear yours down in the comments below. Besides that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.